Okay, my clock says it's 1 o'clock, so our broadcast on YouTube has started. But no, we try to keep this thing casual, so no rush. We can.
Sure. How you doing, Dave?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. We'll give it a minute or two and see who shows up.
Yep.
It's I think that's the first time I've seen you, Rick. You're doing all my closed captioning for my Panopto videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Hopefully
Always
that's
nice to get a face and a voice.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it seems to be going well. He hasn't complained at all. So
good. Well, you never know till it's too late sometimes. So.
Yep.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us for today's Tech Talk. The topic was keeping your Panopto videos organized so that it will make your life as an instructor easier, make our lives as instructional designers and media people easier, makes it easier to share your videos into multiple courses and just know where everything is hosted. And I think Rick is going to do most of the work on today's Tech Talk, just kind of showing us some best practices for video organization. And then if we have any questions or comments or discussions afterwards, we'll go for it. So yeah, Rick, whenever you're ready to share your screen, you should be able to do that now.
I will see if I can do that here. Share screen. Okay.
There we go.
So, awesome. All right. So this isn't rocket science. It's pretty easy. I know this is great for me because a lot of what I have to do with closed captioning, I have to find a lot of files sometimes. And when I ask, well, where are they at? Well, they're in my Canvas. Well, from Canvas, where are they? And they could be located anywhere. They could be embedded in the Canvas. They could be linked to Panopto or to another third-party server. And so it kind of gets to be kind of sticky, if you will, trying to get an accommodation going. So that's where I'm coming from on this whole thing. But more than that, it helps if we can give information to help you be organized and save you time as well. So let's see what I got down here. So I'll just bring up there we go. This is my Canvas right here. And so there's several different ways to handle your file organization. It depends on who you talk to, what they like, their workflow, that kind of thing. Personally, for me, what I have enjoyed, I guess I would say enjoyed, liked the most, is I create a course for myself. I just call it Rick's Master Videos. You can call it just Master Videos, whatever, and it lives on your dashboard. And so what you can do when you make a recording in Panopto, come on. We can open that up here. We've got all these other things in here, videos. But what you can do is you can make folders inside your Panopto, inside that one course that sits on your dashboard. And so you could have your chemistry, your English, your test videos, COVID, computer science, engineering, whatever. And then within those, you can make subfolders as well. And you just simply just type in here and it would be like, Chem Day 1, hit enter, and then it'll give you the option for another one. You can write Chem Day 2, and you can continue that way. That helps with your organization. But more than anything, if you had an accommodation, you said, Rick, I need to get all these videos captioned, I'd say, well, where are they? Well, they're within my Master Videos course. And I'd go here to find them instead of going to your Canvas, going through your modules, seeing where they're linked from Canvas into Panopto or wherever. They're all just housed right here in this one location. And then with a little bit of effort, you can make subfolders inside there that keeps them all organized. So you're saying, well, that's great if I'm making videos, right? I can put them in there, but you can also move videos around. And so the secret to doing that is basically going to this little arrow right here in the top right corner and open in Panopto. And so what that does is send you to the Panopto server, right? And then as you hover over these videos, you see the little square in the corner. So let's say this is your course for chemistry, let's say. If you click that, as soon as you click that, if you look right up here, you can move it, share it, copy it, whatever. When you unclick it, they go away. So there's the secret to moving your videos around. You click it, and then you say, I want to save it in the location, but I want to put it in that master folder where I'm going to move everything. So I'm going to copy it. By doing that, it gives you the location. You can drop down menu. You go, well, I want to put in my test videos or my winter course, or you can create subfolders. So you can move it to that. And if you don't see it there, you can type in, let's see if that comes up. There were no matches. Okay, so anyway, if you know your folder, you can type it in and you can move it there. So that's the secret. Now you don't have to do just one at a time. You could click all of these if they were going to the same location. Or you could copy them, whatever you want to do. So that's basically the secret to moving those videos around, to helping you organize them if they're just scattered everywhere. Because a lot of times you'll get videos and they'll be in a folder called default, which is what Panopto labels it when you make videos. If when you made your video, you send it to a folder rather, that is not a default folder, but it has a name, it would show up like this. Okay. So that's the simple, easy, fast way of doing all that. I've got another way to show you, but is there any questions on this one?
So in case anybody's typing out questions or anything, I mean, to me, the nicest thing about this is, especially if you teach multiple sections of the same course and you teach it quarter after quarter, then it's really easy to kind of lose track of where a Panopto recording is, right? You don't remember if it's in this section or that section, if you did it, if you recorded it in winter, if you recorded it in fall. But if you are putting all of your, like you had there, Chem 102 videos in a single Chem 102 folder, then it should be much easier to keep track of where everything is, and to make sure you have the most up-to-date version of a video. Maybe you re-recorded something. By putting it all in one folder like that, it's just so much easier for you as the instructor to keep track of them.
Right. And time saving.
One question that I've heard about 1,000 times and may come up with someone who's watching this video later is, if I build a master shell as you recommend, and I start recording my videos here and I start organizing them in there, how do I update the permissions so that students in my class this term can watch those videos?
Right. So my understanding is with the permissions on the videos, which is in settings under each one, when you set them in there, let's see here, manage, I believe it is that right?
Share,
excuse me. So you can set it to specific people. If you hit the drop down, usually we say, I believe, anyone at your organization with a link. Because when a student gets done with your course, unless they save the link somehow, they're automatically dropped out of your course. So they don't have access to that link anymore. So this way, when your new students come into your new class, they automatically have access to it. And then you can determine when you open it and release it and so forth to the class.
But Rick, isn't there a way that you can set it at an even higher level than the individual video level, right? Like, can't you set that share, whatever, however you've designated the access, like share with anyone at the organization with a link? Can't you set that at a higher level, like at your master folder level? Is that possible? Do you know what I'm asking?
I think you can. I think if you clicked on just the Chem 102 folder, then I think you can set the share privileges for the folder, and then it kind of cascades down to everything in that folder.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
So if you click on that, and then if you do go to the settings from there,
the folder settings, right? Okay, and then go to share.
And then I think once you change that, then it also gives you options on if it cascades down or not. Maybe not.
Yeah, so if you change it at the folder level, that will change the permissions at all of the videos that are
Trickle
within
down
that
effect.
folder.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
which is nice. So then you don't have to manually do it, as some of us have learned the hard way.
Me too.
The one setting you do not want to select is anyone at your organization. What that does is that makes it public to everybody that's using Panopto. And so every student, every faculty member, if they're looking through their folder, they have access to that. So you want to make sure not to select that. I would love to be able to delete that. And then the difference between anyone at your organization with the link and then anyone with the link is that if you select anyone at your organization with the link, you're going to get better analytics from Panopto. Where when you select anyone with the link, you may have anonymous viewers that are viewing it because the students aren't recognized as being part of your Canvas course. They may have clicked the link outside of Canvas. So that's kind of a little bit of tips there. If you're into Canvas analytics, select anyone at your organization with the link.
So I have a question. Once you put them all into this master list of all your recordings for all your classes, then in your Canvas individual classes, do you make links to these from this Rick Master video folder?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's with new videos. I mean, if you have your videos, sorted out right now and you put them into this now, you just moved them. You haven't changed the link at all. The link is still the same. It's just where they're housed. So you don't have to do any extra work in that sense.
That's interesting. What I've done over the last, I've used Canvas for 7 years, is I've copied the videos from my old Canvas course to the new Canvas course. And so they're always moved up with the course that I create. So I'm teaching, like you have 282, I copy my old Canvas, my last time I taught 282 into a new course with all its lectures and quizzes and all that stuff. And then I go back to Panopto and I copy those into the Panopto folder for that new class. So I know that's wasting Panopto server space, but so that's not the way to do it, obviously. You would rather have it in one master class like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's all in your organization, really. I mean, how you want to do it.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good idea. I never thought of that.
Well, and the problem doing it that way, Dave, is you're spending a lot of time managing that.
Yes.
Where you don't have to do that step anymore. When you copy a Canvas course and you have those links embedded, and if they have the right permission settings from your master folder, they're all just going to roll over, and you're going to have to skip that whole procedure.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. I've had trouble with permissions in the past, which is why I did it this way. But so you're saying any person in the organization goes to the students then with a link. That's the best one. Okay. That's
And if you do it at the folder level, if you built a master course like this and you change that share setting at the folder level, you basically never have to worry about the sharing permissions again for videos in that folder.
Yeah.
Whether you move existing ones in there or build new ones in that folder, you shouldn't ever have to have that problem where you copy something into a new course for a new term and suddenly students can't access it. And then you get bombarded with those automated, Ben is asking permission to view this video link, which I'm sure anybody that's used Panopto has gotten those emails at least once in their career.
Yep.
Yeah. And especially for me, it's like, okay, what did I just do? Because I was just in there the other day sending it in for closed captioning, you know.
Right.
What did I do? So I have a panic attack on that. So
and so for closed captioning, we would just have to give you access to this. Well, you get access to however you want, but we could tell you they're all in my master video folder.
Yep. Yep.
I like that.
And you know, obviously, when you go into these folders, you know, let's say you have, I'll go back here. You know, you've got, you know, you've got 10 videos in there, but you got to make sure you keep them cleaned up too, because you could have made some that you're not linked into this course. And so when you say, oh, all my videos are in Chem 102, I'll go, okay, and I'll send all these in. Well, 5 of these were maybe old ones that you aren't using anymore, you know, or something. So that might be something where you make a whole new folder that says, you know, past, or practice or something like that, and you move them into that, just so that it stays organized. You know, if I do get an accommodation, I do like to have a list of the names of the videos.
Right.
One thing, when you make your video title in Canvas, so make sure it's similar or preferably the same as what your title in Panopto is. It could have been, you know, how to upload a video. Okay, well, in Panopto, it's called Upload Video 101. That's the title I need. So, and then I have to start researching it, and it causes me to go to your Canvas, open the video. Once I find it, it's going to take me a while to search for that. But once I find it and open it, then if you've noticed in Panopto, it will tell you the name of the video at the top. So, oh, it was called Upload Video 101. And so then I can go search for it that way. So it takes some investigative work, but I just encourage you to make sure you title your Canvas the same as what your video is.
And I think it's probably helpful if you kind of get into the habit of having a standard title scheme, you know, week 1 dash lecture 1, week 1 dash lecture 2, week 2, week 3, etc. Again, just for your own organization, but also if you do have to do the captioning request, hopefully that'll be easier for Rick to find the correct videos if they're labeled in that way.
Yeah, you know, maybe a little more information, because last quarter I had 2 computer science courses and they labeled them the same thing, you know, week 1 and whatever the title was. I'd be like, okay, was it Justin or was it the other guy? And I always had to make sure some way to figure out to go in and maybe change the title, put an underscore or a J or something into it so I knew who it was.
Okay, well, so what information would you suggest putting in a video title then? The instructor name and the course number, or? Yeah,
I'd say, you know, week 1, you know, Jones, how to create a video, you know, something like that.
Good to know.
Anything to help you, Rick. Absolutely.
It's all about me.
Oh, sure. No, because you got a lot of stuff to deal with. So that's fine. That's good.
So, well, last quarter, I think I added up just last quarter alone, we submitted over 250 videos for captioning.
Wow.
So, and that was within about 9 different courses. So that's a lot of managing and trying to remember who wrote you to do what and that kind of thing. So anyway, all right. So that's to me the easiest version, because it's all right there on your dashboard. The other way is what Jerry is taught is what you, I believe when you go within your Panopto recordings and you hit this drop down, and it gives you a My folder. A lot of people put their stuff in My folder. And then they can do the same thing as what they did with what's on your dashboard, like I told you. They can create an English and a math and all that kind of thing. The thing about this is people say, all the videos are in my folder. Okay, so then I have to go in and figure out how to get to the My folder, which was a bit of a learning process. It's not as horrible now as it was, but anyway, so yeah, and so you can store stuff in there. You can do the exact same organization by adding folders, subfolders, all that kind of thing. And that's within Panopto itself.
But every user has their own folder that to them is called My folder, but
Correct.
to you at the admin level is going to be, every single one's going to have a different name, right? And it's not even a name that we can easily see. I assume it's probably our first and last name in some format, but
yeah, it's basically under your name, and so I have to search your name. And you know, some people, it gets a little hairy sometimes because some people might have a home address or a work email address or home email address, excuse me. And so things kind of get a little bit layered in that sense.
sure. Or if they had a name change at some point, I bet that screws up the directory.
Yeah. So there's all that folds into it. And anyway, but at least if you put it in here and they say, excuse me, oh, they're all in my folder, then I can at least go there and search. And hopefully then they're organized within subfolders of what you're wanting to do.
Cool. Well, thanks, Rick, for popping in and giving us the lowdown. If I was going to tie a little knot on this, I would say build a master course for your videos, build subfolders in there for each of the classes that you teach, and make sure your permission settings are correct so that your students have access to it, so that you don't get a million emails of students saying, hey, I can't watch your videos.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure your permission setting is for anybody at your organization with the link, so you can get good analytics, and so that your colleagues aren't making fun of your videos where you're looking up at the camera and your nose, you got, you know, you're staring off at the ceiling or saying something goofy. So make sure that they're private for your students. Thanks again for joining us, Rick. Next week, we're doing more Panopto, I believe. I'll be talking about creating assessments within your Panopto videos, so some of the quizzing features, and then if we have time, I'll jump into how to check your analytics and maybe some insights that you can gain from Panopto analytics. So thanks for joining us. We'll stay on, but anybody else who wants to pop off, appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next time.
See you guys.
Thanks, Rick.
No worries.
Yeah, we don't have to leave yet. If anybody has any other, even if it's a completely non-Panopto related question or concern, feel free to chime in, because we call these 15-minute sessions, but we usually end up hanging out until more like half an hour, just in case somebody has something else on their mind.
I had a quick question. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I looked at it, but in the statistics, the analytics for who has watched videos, is there a way to get by user all the videos they've watched? I can see it by video, but I want to see it by all the videos that this person watched.
I believe so, because they would sign in with their student ID to see it.
Right. But I mean, the one way I've done it is I've exported it to Excel and sorted by the student, but I just wanted to see, I want to quickly, like I have a Zoom session with this guy, I want to make sure he's watching my videos, go click, he's watched them, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Let's see here, status.
You want to reshare your screen, Rick?
Yeah, I'm looking, make sure I know how to get in here.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've done analytics, so.
I can share.
Oh, Ben's got it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump into our faculty development course. So hopefully none of our faculty feel called out for watching our videos. If you do, I apologize in advance. So you can go into analytics by the folder. So that's what I'm doing here rather than a specific video. So let me take a step back because I was kind of going quick. Here's all of our videos, and you can look at the stats for a specific video here, but you can look at the folder level here. And this gives you kind of a little bit of data on, views, and then your subfolder stuff, and then specific videos. And if you click into a specific video, it's going to show you more data on that specific video. But I can click on a student here, and I'm going to pick on Susan because I know she won't mind. But now it is showing me top sessions by her. And so I can click this, and I can get a full report of everything that she's watched. And, and it's showing you downloads and minutes that she's watched and percent that's completed. So that kind of gives you some insight there.
Yep.
It's kind of a sneaky way to get into that data because it's not really presented on the main folder level.
Right.
You got to go into that channel, and then you can find your user.
Okay. No, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's good.
Well, do we have anything else we want to chat about in the next couple of minutes? Or Dave, is there any other topics you would like us to cover in a future session?
No, I tried doing a quiz on one of mine and made my students, and it took me a couple times to get it published right, so they actually saw the quiz. But and then I got it attached to a grade book, so that was pretty cool. But I'll come watch your video next week too. That was one thing, because being completely online now, it's difficult to gauge where a student is at. Whereas if you're in class, you can ask questions and things like that. It's just not the same. So I'm trying to force them to watch the videos more. You put them out there and they watch them or not. The better students that pass watch them. Those that don't, they fail. And you can't drill that into them enough that is how you go to class, is you watch your videos. And I'm just trying to figure out a way to get them to do that more often, to actually do that.
I met one instructor, Dave, who compiled over a few terms his video lectures, and he compared that to students' grades, and would create a behavioral report basically on, hey, students that exhibit this behavior, they watch the lectures, and their average discussion posts were this many words. This is the average grade that they received, and just made it very plain to students about the amount of effort that generally had to go into their course to be successful. I thought that was interesting.
No, that's a good visual to show them. Yeah.
Another way to build in a little, like, kind of those quick assessment features is we've gotten a license to pilot H5P, which is a tool to build, and we have an integration with Canvas, and you can do pop-up quizzes, you can do like quizzes within a page, you can do it with other videos outside of Panopto. So if there's a YouTube video or your lectures are up there, you can incorporate those in there. And so those are now, we're just playing around with it, just got the license last week, I believe. And so if you want to explore that and find something that you want to play with, we can help you out there and help you integrate it in the gradebook.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I used to record my lectures. I've recorded my lectures even though we weren't online in class. And so, I'd be going along and using Panopto to record everything and answering questions live. And then I would put those up for people that missed the lectures. But over the years, more and more people just relied on the lectures, which is one of the reasons we decided to go online last February, actually before COVID, because last winter I was lecturing to an empty room and saying, any questions? Any questions? Okay, let's move on. And it's just not the same. So why come in and lecture to an empty room when I can just put the video out anyway? But I miss that interaction with the students.
Absolutely, yeah. And why repeat that same lecture in the next
Yeah,
term
exactly.
and the term after that? Yeah.
Yep. So
Sounds like you're kind of accidentally flipping your class a little bit there.
yeah,
Maybe find some different activities that you can do in class and just have them watch the lectures online first.
yeah.
If you're still doing it as a face-to-face class, I guess.
Yeah, no, we're not anymore. That's what we were doing like the last year or so, was flipping.
Cool.
Yeah, so the only thing now, what I do is during the classes, during the weeks, I have 2 1-hour sessions for my class, which are live, face to face. They come, and I schedule them based on a survey that I put out to match the majority of people that want to come to that. And even still, I only get about 10 or 15% of the students that come to that. So sad.
Yeah, I don't know if it's sad. I mean, if you described your typical student as, 25, 35, 40, somewhere around there, they might be a little more self-directed as a learner.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
our kind of what we thought is the pulse of the class, that when we're running the discussion, really that may have only been the needs of a few students kind of giving us that feedback, where the other students, they're doing fine just watching your lectures as needed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a whole different paradigm shift here.
Yeah, I think that's just where it's important that you have kind of a more holistic view of the analytics and the assessments. And
yeah,
you can tell the difference between a self-directed student who knows what they're doing and doesn't need the help from a student who is disengaged and is in danger of being lost. Those are two different kinds of students most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, and for your project, your course, they're delivering projects. I mean,
right.
And it's pretty obvious to tell if they're way behind the 8 ball or they're right there.
Yep. And
Cool.
and I publish all my lectures and assignments for the whole quarter. I've got people that are 3 or 4 weeks ahead, of where the assignment is due. And so obviously they're doing fine. And I rarely, if ever, hear from them. So,
When it comes to grading, I'm curious, how do you approach that as a grader? Are you grading those as they come in, or do you wait?
I wait until after they're due to grade them. In this one class, I started doing some gamification, and years ago it was more involved, but now it's evolved just into a leaderboard. And so I put out, they have to give me an avatar name that has nothing to do with their real name, so I can post a leaderboard of where they stand in the whole class. So I got 50 students, and they can scan for their avatar name and see what position they're at. So it makes it hard if I grade ahead to filter those points out, because they're ahead just because they have more points and they've done more assignments. So I want to keep it lockstep with what's due at the time. So that's
a great way to handle a leaderboard too.
Yeah.
I think for some students, leaderboards are super motivating.
Yeah.
But you don't want to use their real names because you don't want to see that Caleb is in last place for the class.
Exactly.
So as long as you kind of anonymize it a little bit there, you can still feel competitive without feeling like you're being exposed. So I like that.
Yep. So that works pretty good. And most of them like that. I do it only in my first 282 class, but when they get into my second follow-on class, a lot of them say, "Hey, where's the leaderboard? I want to know where I'm at." So they get used to it. They like that. It's kind of fun. So.
Cool. Well, I guess we're probably about out of time here, but Dave, thanks for joining us. And
yeah, that was fun.
A good conversation.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Great information. Appreciate it.
All right, see you, everyone.
Bye.